Good morning. I'm Bradley Miller. Uh, and this is my beautiful wife, Peggy Miller. We are the Miller Morning Meditation Minutes with Grace Connections Church. And today we are reading from our handy dandy YouVersion Bible app, the verse of the day, which today comes to us from Deuteronomy 31:6. And God's word says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave or forsake you." So, if
I like all those be strong and courageous statements. There's a whole bunch of them kind of piled together in the end of Deuteronomy and the beginning of Joshua as that transfer of power happens between Moses and Joshua, and he's encouraging him, which would have to be a really difficult thing to do because Joshua's been around long enough that he's seen all the trouble Moses has had with these people. And if it were me taking over, I think I'd be kind of like, you want me to take on this group of people and lead them? Do you not remember what happened to you? And you were their established leader from the very beginning. And the comfort that he keeps being given is, be strong and courageous, the Lord is with you. Be strong and courageous, the Lord is with you. And so often, I personally feel like I'm facing these giants, and sometimes I forget that I'm not actually the one facing them. Like, I'm there and I'm participating in it, but it's not dependent upon me. And so I love these verses that go back to the whole strong and courageous, do not be afraid. The Lord is with you. Because I need to be reminded of that so much.
Yeah, I know that it is so easy to be overwhelmed, especially when you see others who are going through difficulties, or you yourself are going through difficulties and dealing with other people who are going through difficulties, and you're like, you could fix this. You could totally, like in this, the Lord could have been like, poof, I've wiped out everybody. Just go and take the land.
Well, he kind of did. Everybody who, like, an entire generation got.
What? The whole generation got poofed out. That was not being. But I'm talking about, it's easier to go and take something and go into a land where you're like, oh, look, everybody's gone. Let's just...
Oh, that from the other side of the border.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, if you were able to go through life without having any problems, which I think sometimes people get the whole misconception, and that's where people fall in their faith is, I'm a follower of Jesus now, everything's going to be puppy dogs and roses and everything's going to be grand. And then we live in a fallen world and sin still happens and things are still messed up. And then when it comes, we're like...
Yeah. And what we fail to remember is that resistance training is what builds the faith muscles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to expect resistance training, that we have to know that we've got a great spotter.
Yes. And sometimes we forget to see how big our problem is, but we fail to see how big God is. We've made God the little, look, carry him in a Tic Tac box and whip him out, and so we jump into God's Word each and every day to know what God's Word says, to see what God told His people and what He continues to tell us through His Word, because whoever finds God finds life. And we will catch you again tomorrow. Thanks.